Today, I'm showing you the new 2.0 workflow that completely changed how I use AI to code. If you have been using Cursor or other AI coding agents extensively, you know that sometimes you ask it to do something and it just comes back with a bunch of errors like this. This is usually because the AI was trying to do too many things at once. There's one technique that fixes all of this, and this will work for any AI IDE that you're using, Cursor or anything. Cursor will make way less errors and it will implement the changes correctly the first time. The secret is giving your AI coding agents a task management system. This will help the AI understand the overall implementation plan as well as not overwhelming it with too much information at once, instead to approach it more like a human would and take it step by step. I was able to build a fully functional multiplayer online game using a task management system. The AI was able to one-shot this project in a single go without much error, which is absolutely insane. Some of you might know that Cursor actually added its own task management system into Cursor, a native one called planning mode. So you just go here on the agent tab, and instead of agent, change it to plan mode. For example, I could go to Cursor and say, create a plan for a simple MVP X app, and then it will come back with clarifying questions to create the final plan. I have found that Cursor's planning mode works great for simple projects and for simple tasks, but if you have something more complex that you want to vibe code, it's much better to go with Claude Taskmaster. Taskmaster AI, like it sounds, is a task management system, command line based, that you can use in any AI IDE. It lets you take a complex PRD and break it down into simple subtasks that the AI can tackle one by one. What I love about this tool is that for each to-do item that Taskmaster creates, each one has a priority and dependencies, so you won't have the situation where Cursor will create something that it doesn't have the dependencies ready for yet. I'm going to do a quick run through of how exactly I built this entire multiplayer online project. So the first thing I did is I went to Cursor and I said, let's create a PRD for this project in docs, Taskmaster docs PRD. This is after I already installed the command line tool based on their instructions in the GitHub repo. Then I said we need to create a JavaScript based multiplayer clone where the player will play as a circle that gets bigger by eating other circles, basically how the game works. And then I said, use example prd.txt. After you ran npx taskmaster init, you will find the example prd file inside the templates folder of the taskmaster folder. After Cursor created the PRD, now what I can do is it's telling me here, you can use the taskmaster command line tool to run parse PRD on the text file, and then it will generate the structured task list. From there, once the PRD is parsed, I can now just tell Cursor to start working on the tasks. And you can see it's actually using the taskmaster command line tool to run npx taskmaster next, and that's going to return it. It will hear it got an error, but then it actually fixed it, and it was able to find the next task to do. You can see here that now Cursor started to write a bunch of different lines of code, hundreds of lines of code to create this entire project, and it was able to one-shot it with just a small error that happened where it was rendering funky looking circles. And I just asked it to fix it at the end, and it was able to fix it. So I do want to highlight that in order to use Taskmaster, you do need to set up your API key to either OpenAI, Anthropic, or any of these options that you can see here. I am hiding the file because I have some of my API keys here, like the OpenAI one that I'm currently using. So just make sure to have your API keys in there so that Taskmaster can work and parse the PRD and create all those subtasks needed. An important tip I have for you is that in Cursor, go to the settings and then go to the agents tab and you'll see auto run mode. This by default, I think, is on ask every time. So make sure to actually set this to run everything, and it'll have this disclaimer that it's going to be running all the commands. But this way you could just ask Cursor to start implementing the tasks generated by Taskmaster, and then you can just go and drink a coffee and let it do all of the work needed. In your tasks.json file, you'll see that all the tasks created by Taskmaster will be marked as done as the AI goes through and starts completing all those tasks. If you go to the GitHub page for the Taskmaster tool, you'll see that there are a bunch of common commands that you can use that are very useful. Like, for example, you can even research, which means it'll use the Perplexity API key if you have that set up, to do some research to find, for example, what are the latest best practices. And then other tools are like Taskmaster Move, where you can move tasks between tags. So it's pretty amazing that Cursor was able to build this fully functional multiplayer game by itself in just like 20 minutes. This clearly shows just how important it is to have tools like Taskmaster and other task management systems to assist your AI agents in building whatever you're building. And what's really exciting is that this is just the beginning. I can imagine these tools getting a lot better in just a few months' time as AI models get better. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you want to see next in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.